Welcome to Screencast, Kind of Funny's only entertainment-based podcast where we come together and discuss TV shows, movies, and streaming services. Just had to breathe there for a second.
Okay.
You can catch us live every Friday around 11:20ish. That's happening more and more. On twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. Is that right? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
If you don't have time for that, you can watch us on YouTube or Rooster Teeth. If you don't want to look at our pretty little faces, you can go to any of the podcast streaming services that you enjoy. We should be on all of them, and if we're not, it's Tim's fault. So, email him. Let him know. If you want to help support us, you can go to patreon.com/kindoffunny and support at any tier. If you do the silver tier, you get to watch us ad-free, which is exciting. People seem to like that.
Mm-hmm.
I just skip through ads, but whatever.
Either way.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You got plenty of options. I am your host, Kevin Coelho. And to my left, we have one Joey, the Movie Bros, Noel.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
I was going to say Chad, but I guess this isn't really Chad that I'm talking to. Hi, everyone. Happy to be here. Excited to talk about some San Diego Comic-Con news. Very exciting.
Let's start with some housekeeping.
Where'd you get that shirt, Kev?
Oh, there you go. Went right into it.
Oh!
Right now, if you go to the, what is it called? Is it fan mail tier still?
It's platinum.
The platinum tier, you can get this shirt.
Do you want to know what a Greg Miller mugshot would look like? Do you want that on a shirt? Do you want to have this shirt for the next convention he probably gets banned from? Future-proofing people, even though I know it says E3 on there.
And then RIP Greg Miller, future-proofing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also true.
Yeah. Also, we have Patreon producers Robin GL, Alec Bobco, David Mintel, Antman0208, and DJ Kento. Thank you guys so much for going to Patreon and becoming producers. I annoyed the shit out of you. I'm sure that was the cause. The support means so much. And everyone who else is not doing it, fuck you.
You reading those today made me realize that I forgot to read those yesterday when I did Internet Explorers. Oops, my bad.
No.
Sorry, guys.
Joey.
How do you make it right?
I read them twice.
There you go. I don't know if that's how it
Kevin,
works.
just read them a second time
I'll
right
make
now.
Tim read them at the top of the show and the bottom of the show
There
next
it
week.
is.
How about that?
This show is also brought to you by our sponsors. This week it's Zebit and Upstart, but more about that later. Now let's talk about some shit we watched.
Oh, man. We watched a lot of shit.
A lot. I watched 4 movies last night.
Which is crazy.
It is. It was
I thought
wild.
it was crazy the day that we saw 3 movies in a row. And then you were like, no, I'm going to see 4 tomorrow.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I think that we just had really good luck because
Timing?
the day we watched 3, they were 3 pretty good movies.
Yeah.
The last one was Brightburn, which wasn't amazing, but it was still good.
Yeah.
And then yesterday, all 4 of the movies were
Knocked
great.
it out of the park?
Yeah.
What was the first one you saw?
Well, let me
'Cause I
start
joined you
before I
halfway.
go in that. Let me start with a movie I watched not in theaters.
Okay.
Mary Poppins Returns.
Oh, interesting.
I believe it was on Netflix.
Yes.
Yeah, it's on
Yeah.
Netflix now.
Wouldn't recommend.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. I saw on Paula's Instagram stories that you've never seen the original Mary Poppins?
No, I've seen it, but it's just one of those movies I've seen so long ago,
Okay.
and I wasn't a huge fan growing up.
Yeah.
So rewatching this was just like, this seems like retooling of the old, but they didn't go hard enough.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I didn't love Mary Poppins Returns, so I'm kind of on the same page with you. I think if you really liked Mary Poppins, you probably have a little bit more of a connect. I don't even know if that's true, because I feel like if you really like Mary Poppins, you're not going to like that this isn't
The bar's
same
real
thing.
high.
I did like I thought Lin-Manuel was really good, but I didn't think that they used him enough.
I'm not sure I like him as an actor.
Really?
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
controversial.
I understand that, and I just think he goes a little too hard all of the time.
He's just really excited, okay?
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like sometimes the role doesn't need that. Not that I don't think he did he's a great singer.
Yeah.
Also, I felt like most of the songs were like very okay.
Yeah, I didn't love
It's
any
just
of
like,
the
none of these songs
either.
are great. Some of them are hard to understand because they all talk funny,
No.
Gosh. Yeah.
And I normally don't have a problem with like accents, specifically like British accents. Like I have like my sister has trouble watching Game of Thrones because she's like, I just don't understand it. Andy likes subtitles on Game of Thrones because
He's an old man.
I love subtitles on everything.
I hate it. It's not meant to be. Your eyes are meant to watch the screen, not the bottom third.
I mean, they're still watching the screen.
I'm jumping around everywhere. Now let's talk about some movies we watched yesterday. Midsommar was the last movie we watched yesterday.
And that's the one you want to lead with?
The first one I want to start with, because it was fucking interesting.
Yeah, man. Ari Aster, I love you, but like maybe you should go to like some counseling to deal with something.
He definitely needs help. Like his stories are so dark. I feel like Hereditary was great. All right,
Hi,
Fran just said bye. Really weirdly.
Thanks, Fran.
Yeah.
God, what an asshole, you know?
Hereditary was great. It takes a little while before we get into the meat of it. With Hereditary?
Oh,
no,
okay.
with Hereditary. I feel like Midsommar right away in the first 10 minutes. It's like, here's the fucking tone, here's what's going on, and get ready because this shit's going to be fucked up.
Yeah.
And
I felt like
gets
it
weird.
punched you kind of at the beginning and then it was a slow burn after that to what's
But like,
going on.
because I feel like they defined how fucked up this world is.
Yeah.
It was like keeping you on your toes and tense the entire time, where it's like, I'm really uncomfortable. I don't know what's going to happen.
That's how
I know I'm not
I
gonna
feel like that's
it.
how I felt during Hereditary. That's how I'll feel during this, of like, you don't know what's coming, but you know that something's coming and you are just, or some things, like there's definitely layers to it. And you're just like anxious and uncomfortable
the entire time.
but in a good way,
But like
an
it's
enjoyable way. if
It's on
that's
purpose,
possible.
right? Like
yeah, yeah.
he's trying to get that sort of reaction out of us,
Yeah.
and they do such a good job. I will say this movie is way more graphic than Hereditary when
Yeah.
compared to both of them. Where it's like
agree.
this movie has, I'd say, a shocking amount of like full frontal nudity.
Yeah, you definitely don't. I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting that going into it for
no.
sure. So
So
I
yeah,
guess
just be
it's
prepared
I
for
don't
that
know if it's
mentally.
shocking.
I feel like there were a couple of scenes where I was like, oh, there's a lot going on right at this moment.
Isn't there only one like main scene with nudity?
No, because like after that, there's like the whole,
Oh, yeah.
you know, and like that lingers for a while.
That's true.
Yeah.
Weird.
Also, the violence in it is like, I know,
There's
like
way more gore than I was expecting.
way more gore than I was
Because Hereditary
expecting.
didn't really have that
Right.
much.
I
I mean,
don't.
when it had it, it
Yeah.
counted.
And I
but-
said this yesterday when I tweeted out my little quick Twitter review of it. But like, I don't know that I can recommend this to people just because
Yeah.
it's so crazy. If you liked Hereditary, it's more of that. I'd say a little bit even more intense than that.
I think it's more intense
Yeah.
than that for
so,
sure.
you know,
This is one of those
that's
movies
what you want to watch. Go
I was
watch it.
telling right before I went live. I don't remember why the perfection came up, but it's one of those movies where I feel similarly in that I kind of want people to watch it, but then I don't want you to judge me for telling you to watch it. That's really
Yeah,
what it
yeah.
comes down to. It's pretty fucked up.
To be clear, I think it's a good movie.
Yeah.
I didn't venture to say it might be great. But it's not a movie I ever want to experience again. And it's
Yeah.
the same with Hereditary and a couple.
Just one and done.
yeah,
for
and
sure.
it's just like it's a fucked up world that we. Yeah.
Panzer G2 says torture porn gore. Nope.
No,
I don't
it
think
wasn't
it's
torture
that level.
porn. No.
I think the way that they
There's just
use
moments.
gore is really well done. It's not like a hostile-y kind of thing at all.
There's
I would say that the gore and the nudity are two separate
completely
things.
I don't think there's much overlap either.
I don't think so either.
There might have been one flash during the dude running around,
yeah.
but
Yeah. They are
for the
not,
most part, it's separate.
Yeah, they're
yeah.
separate things.
Yeah, but I liked it, and again, this isn't something I'm broadly recommending to everyone. This is just very specifically, if you're like, man, Hereditary is a fucked up movie that I enjoyed, you're gonna also enjoy this movie.
Yeah. It was a lot. I thought the acting was really great. We were talking about how well in both of these Ari Aster movies, like the main character conveys like strong emotion in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable.
It's visceral.
Yeah. And it's wild.
Now, an interesting thing that happened to us last night is that we went to watch it, and like there were a bunch of
Dude bros.
that like just could not handle certain scenes.
Yeah.
And were giggling, and that kind of made the whole theater kind of laugh at stuff. I feel like I don't
I think
that
everyone was just laughing because they were uncomfortable and they
Yeah.
didn't know what else to do and needed to have some sort of reaction. CRS1 in the chat says it's the most horrific breakup comedy you'll ever see, which is like,
it's a somewhat accurate.
Yeah,
I'd say
it's a lot of different. It's a lot of different pieces of relationships and family and community and like all of these different things.
Yeah, it's
Man.
like dealing with loss, but in a not a good way.
Which was Hereditary too.
Yeah, it's true. All right, well, let's move on to much lighter movies. The Farewell.
I don't know if this is lighter necessarily.
I thought this was way lighter. Like The Farewell, another movie that I enjoyed so much.
Can we just talk about how good A24 is with like the movies that they put out?
Fantastic.
Holy
It's a
crap.
shame that they're barely making money.
Is that really? I don't know anything.
You guys need to go and support A24 because they put some
incredible
bad
stuff.
movies out too.
what?
It Comes at Night or something like that. Was
It
the name?
Follows?
No. It Follows is great.
I'm
find
looking.
out.
I'm looking.
sure
up,
Chad will bring it up,
A24
too.
Movies.
I guess we'll find out. Chat, tell us what A24 movies are not good.
I mean, it's they pick a lot. My understanding is A24 buys movies that are done and then can put them out. And sometimes they're hit or miss, but there are a lot of real gems in A24's.
I feel like they have way more hits than misses.
The three movies that we're talking about today, Midsommar, The Farewell, and The Last Black Man in San Francisco, are all A24.
A24, yeah. The Farewell, I really enjoyed, and I thought overall it was, while the main topic about it is very dark, overall it had me laughing so much, just because so many of the things that happen were like so relatable to like my family is similar. It's not the same because this is like a Chinese family in China, but it just, there were so many things that I could like
relatable family
very
moments.
relatable family issues.
100%. Yeah. I think The Farewell is my favorite A24 movie since Lady Bird. And I loved Lady Bird.
Yeah, we all know
I thought
that.
Awkwafina was
So good.
She was
I don't have a
amazing.
huge like knowledge of her work other than Crazy Rich Asians.
I mean, it hasn't
Is
been
that
much since.
I guess she did
past that.
She was
the
in-
Oceans movie
yeah,
too.
Oceans.
Yeah,
8.
those are like the two other like only movies she's really known for. Yeah.
What is she from then? Like
She's
I
a
think
comedian, right?
she-
Or a rapper, maybe?
She's an artist.
an artist.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's
Maybe-
from the Bay Area, I believe. I could be wrong about that.
She's from New York. And
Oh,
yeah,
New York?
she's a
I was wrong
she
then.
was a rapper.
There it is,
Got it.
rapper, yeah.
Yeah.
It was especially seeing her in roles like Oceans
yeah.
and Crazy Rich Asians, where she's kind of like the quirky,
Yeah.
weird character. To see her take a very like serious role that still has like some comedic elements. I laughed more in this movie than I thought I was going to, but it is like very dry humor. Our theater was packed.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Which is awesome to see.
Was
yeah.
not expecting that, because I feel like whenever I see some A24 movies, they're usually like pretty indie with like smaller crowds, but this was packed. I feel like I haven't seen that many people in a movie, like a non-Marvel superhero kind of
Right.
movie.
A lot of
in
old
long
people.
time.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
really old
Yeah.
people in this one. And then, it was really funny, but I did, for some reason, I don't know how this happened, but I found someone in our theater last night who has a more annoying laugh than Big Kev Dog.
Oh, why? Why do you have to be mean?
I didn't even hear anybody
Oh
else.
my God, there was someone right next to me who, like, he would also laugh at
don't
things that were,
understand.
like,
Not funny.
not that funny, but just, like, I hope it wasn't, like, a malicious laugh. It made me uncomfortable. There were times where, like, it's definitely because there's a different culture. There's, like, things that you are learning, and there would be moments that it's like, this isn't funny, and he would laugh, and I was just like, why? Why are you laughing right now? And it made me very uncomfortable, which kind of sucks, but very annoying laugh.
There was
Very
some
annoying laugh.
interesting moments with the crowd where they would laugh at things. It's like, oh, you're just laughing because that food seems weird to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the vibe I got from our theater, unfortunately. But there are like so many great moments.
Oh, there are
Yeah.
so many great
yeah,
moments. Yeah.
Yeah, the dynamics between the characters and the development and like everything in that movie is so good. Yeah, I feel like I had a lot of conflicting emotions coming out of the movies yesterday, where it's like, oh man, I just want to like hug my family, and then I also never want to see anybody ever again.
Well, we keep making this mistake of watching the horror movie as our last movie.
Because so here's I think if we would have seen Midsommar before The Farewell, I would have been in a very different headspace.
I don't know. I
don't think I would
feel
be
like
able
the
to handle
Farewell
it.
would have
Been a
brought me
palate
back
cleanser?
up. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was expecting. Jeez, someone outside
fuck
is
was that?
yelling.
Someone just yelled.
I was expecting last night, like as we were sitting in the theater waiting for it to start, I was like, shoot, I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight after seeing this, and that's definitely not. It was not horror. It was definitely.
Well, I just feel like with like Hereditary was like, oh man, like at any moment, like someone in your family could be in this cult, and turn on you. But this is like they went to this thing, they chose to do this weird thing that like
they didn't understand.
Yeah.
But go see The Farewell because it's really good.
Yeah.
And
I also recommend it. I think it's totally worth seeing, and it's just
It's
very
bittersweet.
powerful and sweet story.
Yeah. I feel like that I think without a doubt is going to end up on my top list of the year.
Yeah, same.
Like I would guarantee top 10. I would guess probably top 5.
I don't want to say too much, but just the scene at the end where they're driving away was just very relatable of just like how grandparents and great grandparents like kind of make sure to say goodbye when you're hanging out at their place for like a weekend or something like that. There's just a lot of little moments like that I was not expecting going into this movie and fucked me up in a couple of different ways. So, yeah.
During the wedding, the speeches, so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. What else did you
Bear,
watch?
would you recommend that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Excellent.
it's one of my favorite movies.
All right, so
this
we
year.
all recommend The Farewell. Next movie we're going to talk about, The Lion King.
Ugh.
Me and Barrett saw this one.
Yeah, I did not see
What was
this.
that noise, Barrett?
I don't know. I'm giving this movie way more shit than it
Yeah, you
deserves.
really are. Like it felt like you were really enjoying it sitting next to me.
The way I was thinking about this, and this is like the best analogy I can come up for how I feel about this movie. Like Mario Maker 2 just came out, right? And there's all these like crazy designed levels, and there's someone who like recreated a bunch of Zelda dungeons in Mario Maker 2, and it's like really cool to see like how they would reimagine like certain enemies and like all of this stuff, and seeing like, oh, what will this room look like translated to this game? But it's not the original, like it's nowhere near what the original does. And that's how I feel about this movie. It's like, oh, it's interesting to see like how they would interpret Timon and Pumbaa now with Seth Rogen and
Billy Eichner?
Yeah, and like they were like a highlight for me of just like seeing like
They did a great job.
modern jokes and following up jokes from the original. And
What's his face? Zazu. John Oliver.
John Oliver
was fantastic.
Yeah,
I
he
felt
was
like.
great.
So good. I even liked the slightly different scar that they had.
Yeah, I did
here's the
actually
thing.
like the scar.
Overall, I think this movie did an incredible job. Is it basically a carbon copy made with like real looking animals? Yeah, and like that's what I want. Lion King is great. You don't need to make giant story changes or like.
I think people would
stuff.
riot if you made giant story changes.
And
to
then they
Lion
do
King.
add a little bit of stuff, which I did think was cool. Like,
But it was like very little.
it was very little. But there's like a whole like 5-minute scene that does not happen in the original that gives a little more context to what's going on. But that's really it. But yeah, I did like the Scar this time around. Not to say I didn't like the original Scar. Original Scar is fucking top tier.
Yeah.
And then like it is amazing how many adults you can get to still tear up in a theater on a scene that you recreated and everybody knows what's going to happen in that scene.
Did you tear up?
Oh, I teared up a little bit, and I heard people like sniffling and shit.
Yeah, no. Yeah, there were criers in there.
But it was amazing, like how many people were still tearing up, even though we all knew what was going to happen. And it's a weird scene where the lions can't emote because they're lions. So, like,
but see, I think they did a good enough job of showing emotions. Like,
there were moments.
There were moments when you see surprise and it's like, oh, that like they nailed that look.
They nailed the fuck me eyes.
There it is.
They
That's what I
nailed
was
the
gonna-
fuck me eyes. Weirdly enough.
They put all of the budget for animal emotion into that one look.
It's so it was like right before it happened, I was like, "Are they still gonna do that?" And they
Right.
did. And like Kevin even pointed it out, where he's like, "Dude, they did it!" And I was like, I couldn't stop laughing for like a good minute. And shout out to that song, like Childish Gambino and Beyonce singing "Can You Feel the Love Tonight?" Like amazing, like totally like worth seeing that movie for just for that kind of that collaboration right there.
I really think that like this movie, they did such a good job remaking it, and for a bunch of kids, like that, this will be their first experience.
I still recommend the original for kids.
I mean, I recommend the
experience.
original, but I feel like I have too much nostalgia connected to it, where it's like it's always going to be phenomenal because I remember it watching it when I was 6.
Right.
I think this movie nails everything that it needs to.
Yeah.
Like, this is that movie just redone now with better, like, you know, a different sort of technology. The only things that I kind of had it like, I was like, oh, I wish this was done a little bit better, were 2 songs.
Are they new songs?
No.
Were there new songs?
There was one that I was able to like kind of hear. It was the one where Nala is like leaving to go find help. Basically, there's a new song there.
Interesting. I think did I go pee there? I might have
Probably, yeah.
No, but they did the where they're trying to run away from Zazu.
Yeah.
Which is because it's real life, they can't do all the giant
crazy,
extravagant stuff without it looking silly.
Yeah.
So I understand that being a little bit toned down, and then also the Scar song.
Oh my god, they cut
really,
like 2/3 of that song out, and it was.
But that's again, a lot of that was like weird green ooze and lighting coming out of nowhere.
For the setting that they have in the live action, I still think they could have pulled that off and kept the full song. Like he does a verse and then immediately skips to the end of the song. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was my only thing where I was like, oh, I really like that song and I wish they had gone more. But like the rest is so good. The start. Those first, 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Circle of Life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. And it's amazing, how, for the first minute of that song, it is the
Shot
original.
for shot, yeah.
Yeah. And it's shot for shot. They're recreating, even, the focusing on the ants, crawling on the tree, and then, then focusing on the background. And it's not until a minute later in that you notice the new singer who's doing the main song. But yeah, that intro is legit just the same exact thing. And it's cool. I didn't hate it. I didn't dislike it.
That hit so hard.
Yeah, it did hit hard where it was and they still do the boom, the Lion King boom, and it's that's still very impactful. But again, is that our nostalgia or I don't know. I don't know about that argument. But
I just think that forever we're gonna look back and be like, oh, the cartoon's better. I really think that this nailed it, and little kids someday will be talking about this the way we talk about the cartoon. Granted, the cartoon's still there. It just it's going to experience in the theater and it being on Disney's streaming service. That's all going to be more accessible. Granted, the cartoon will also be there, but
yeah,
and it's better. Again, I didn't think this was bad. It's definitely different, and it's interesting to see their kind of modern takes on things, and that's really all I have to say.
Yeah, this is another movie that I recommend. Go and check this one out if you like Lion King, because it's awesome. The last movie that I'll be talking about is The Last Black Man in San Francisco. Oh, man, this movie was intense.
I'm so excited to see this tomorrow.
It was a great film, and I'm saying something different on purpose because it's this movie is way the tone is so serious and has very dark, terrible moments. It just also it being in San Francisco, so many shots are beautiful, and seeing my city in this way is special.
I know. I really want to go see it. I just couldn't go yesterday, but between you and Tim and the way that everybody's talking about this, it sounds
this
so
movie
good.
is really slow though. So it's not a fast-paced movie. It's purposely slow, and just you gotta be ready for that. So don't go thinking it's gonna be just a regular movie. It's slow on purpose, and it wants to slowly crawl through these things, and it's not gonna end well, and it's just it's a powerful and sad story.
Jeez.
But also one that I recommend. It did hit me harder because I'm from the Bay Area, so a little asterisk there.
Yeah, I would assume it doesn't have a super wide release, and it's in theaters for longer because it's here and people.
Yeah,
maybe
it
there's
looks
more of a market audience
someone
for it.
from on Twitter was saying that it's not hitting a wide release, and they're only seeing it in AMC.
Interesting.
So they were it's 40 minutes away from me. And I
Yeah.
was like, dude, adventures are pretty cool. I always like adventures.
But it's Do you think it's worth seeing in theater, or do you think that you could just wait until it comes out? I assume to.
I mean, that depends on like this isn't a regular movie, so it's like if you like movies that like, you know, you're sitting down quietly just trying to like understand the full message behind, like yeah. But if you want to go watch explosions and like cool stuff or horrible, scary things, like no, you know, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. This is a very niche movie, is what I'm saying. But if you know if you're in that niche,
Yeah.
yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's a solid. That's a lot of
Diversity.
yeah in one
in one day.
One day.
Yeah, it was interesting. I thought after doing the 3 movies, I was like, oh man, I'm really tired and like I'm uncomfortable. Like my body hurts because the seats aren't great. But I don't know what it is about Kabuki's theaters. I think they recline a little bit further back. I was totally fine. I was shocked going into the 4th movie, being like, oh, I feel great.
See, Kabuki's not that bad.
Yeah, Kabuki, not that bad. I hated it for a long time because the theaters are so small and shitty. But
They're comfy.
I'm starting to like them.
Yeah.
The bottom theaters are real great.
The bottom theaters have like these giant like armrests between every 2 seats.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like a
and
table.
They're staggered, so you could also like have one in front of you, where it's really nice to just put your feet on. Overall, Kabuki win me over. Although they don't have the little sliders.
Oh, bummer.
Oh, the
That's a
little
real bummer.
the little burger sliders?
Yeah, the burger sliders.
Huh. They used to.
They didn't yesterday. It was
That's
devastating.
sad. That's really sad. I'm sorry.
Is Andrea? Did she leave or?
Andrea's here. I can hear her.
Andrea, we're about to go in the news. If you want to join us.
Andrea's coming.
Andrea's
everybody.
coming.
So should I
Talk about
bring
the
a
news.
chair on set?
You want to put her on shock mic?
I don't know. What do you think?
We
So
talked
much
about
thought
this before the show.
So
he didn't prep a mic. He didn't prep a mic.
Yeah, you want to put her on shock mic?
No, I kind of want to have her on set.
Okay.
Barrett, come over and put her on
We're
set.
doing a reset.
Hold on.
Hold on. You get to see how this is. Where do you want this mic? Do you want me to leave this here and give this to Andrea? Or do you want to put her in the
Andrea,
middle?
I think it's going to go in the middle. He
Andrea's
should have been more
going in the
prepared for this.
I would say, yeah, let's have Andrew go in the middle. So
Okay.
we'll take this mic from you.
Okay.
I'm still also working my way through Dark. That show's so good. I've had a couple people. Andrea Barrett's going to do that.
The one with the ring.
Yeah, that show is so intense, and I really, really enjoyed it. I've had a couple people hit me up just being like, what the fuck is this? Or, hey, like, no, this is really cool and trippy. So, go and watch Dark. So good.
Hey, everybody.
You watching anything good lately?
Property Brothers, Dream
Oh, I
Home.
love Property Brothers. That's right. That's
Christina
right.
on the Coast is finally on. They've been promoting that show forever.
I have no idea what that is.
So if you guys are HGTV fans,
I am.
there was a very popular show, and actually they're bringing it back, Flip or Flop.
Oh, yeah.
The stars were married, and then they went through a tumultuous divorce, and then the
no.
show kind of like took a little hiatus, and then there was this awkward period where they did a season where it was clear like they didn't like doing the show together, and then Tark tried to do it without her, and then he's terrible on camera without her, and he needed her, and so they are actually bringing Flip or Flop back with the two of them and her new husband.
that
So
gonna
she
go?
has her
That seems
own
like
show
a-
called Christina on the Coast that follows like her life as
Can I
a
see these
designer. Yeah, oh yes, you can. And then I was just watching the episodes because they've been promoting her new series, and she did like a surprise wedding in the series. So let me see, show you.
Okay.
So
It's not the
I didn't
person
know that they
thought
got
it was.
divorced.
yeah,
Because I
so-
would only ever watch it like when I got my nails done. It was always on TV. And I was always very
HGTV
excited.
is so good. I
I
love
know.
it so
I
much.
miss,
I
I
Yeah.
miss
miss too.
HGTV and like Lifetime for the shitty movies. And that's the only thing
so
I miss
shitty.
about cable.
Yeah,
Maybe a little bit
Christina
of Bravo.
Onstead is her name. It used to be El Musa because this was her ex, that's her husband. So that was the Flip or Flop couple.
Yeah.
And so they would buy
very
flips
weird,
in
yeah.
Southern California, and like the whole show was like, are they going to make their money back or
back,
not?
yeah.
And most of the time they do. They
Yeah.
don't really show a lot of the flops. You have to go to the HGTV.com content to see a lot of what the flops. But like
Nobody
they're-
wants to watch them.
well, because
fail.
sometimes
Yeah.
they buy a flip property and then it sits on the
The
market for
foundation's
weeks,
fucked
and,
too,
or
yeah.
they never get and then they lose money on their investment. So anyway, That's what I've been watching because I'm an adult.
Dude, I miss HGTV.
Yeah. But actually, we just finished Stranger Things last weekend.
Oh, cool. Did you like it?
Oh my gosh, loved it.
Yeah. This was my favorite season.
There was a couple of moments in the middle that I was like a little iffy on. Things that felt like a little too fantastical because I thought what made Stranger Things the first 2 seasons really great is that it still had this little bit of believability to it, even though clearly it's a lot of fantasy, like 80s sci-fi. But the more I thought about it in reflection, they really did an amazing ode to 80s sci-fi in this current season. In a really fun way, if you watched a lot of 80s movies, that you could like see all of the tropes.
But I didn't feel like it was just sci-fi. It was like sci-fi with spy like aspects and like buddy cop aspects.
Or like action films, right? Like right down to like the 80s villain,
Genres,
like the Russian
Yeah,
villain.
it was definitely like a mix of Terminator. There was like Miami Vice in there and shit like that. Yeah, it was really great.
And like the scene at the carnival, like all of those carnival rides were at the Red River Valley Fair in my hometown in Fargo. I hated the Gravitron.
That one's fun. That's one
that's my favorite ride.
I love rides. I love thrill rides. I love them all. The ones that go in a straight circle make me hurl every single time.
So you don't like the tilt-a-whirl?
Hell no.
That's
You cannot pay me to get on a tilt-a-whirl.
Did you love Alexi? Because I loved him.
I didn't love him at first.
No one loved him at first because he seemed like a prick.
Yeah,
but afterwards, once there's a relationship,
I felt bad for him. But
no spoilers.
Yeah.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about the slushy situation. All he wanted was a cherry slushy. And
That
brought him a strawberry
that
one.
was a great scene that I didn't know where they were. Like, I wasn't sure if it was gonna like pay off the way Bro thought it was.
Yeah.
And
I mean, there were some issues I had with Hopper this season, which I don't know how. I mean, we don't want to probably go too deep into talking about Stranger Things right now, but really enjoyed it. So if you guys haven't seen it, Stranger Things 3 is excellent. And Brittany on our episode of What's Good Games this week talked about playing the video game Stranger Things 3, which I had completely been like waved off as like, it didn't look very good. She said it was really fun, very nostalgic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, now it's time for some news.
News.
Our first story. We got some breaking news.
Sorry.
Oh, that was well timed. Jamie Lee Curtis teases more Halloween.
Yay!
So she put out a tweet that has a video. The video is great. It's just an old narrator style, like from the older movies. And they just Halloween Kills is coming October 16th, 2020. And then Halloween Ends October 15th, 21.
Stoked.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the last one?
I did not. Everyone said good things about it.
I thought it was really fun.
Cool Greg's very excited. And it gets Cool Greg that excited. I'm totally down for.
Yeah.
I haven't yet. I'm waiting for Brittany to come back so we can watch together.
Yeah. I just like the Halloween series. I like Jamie Lee Curtis.
Me too.
I think it's fun to bring her back. I like that they're kind of retconning some of the other stuff out because not all the Halloween movies are great.
They're retconning
I don't know.
so
Halloween
much out.
3 Season of the Witch was very underrated.
No,
I like that.
That's like the worst one, right?
I liked it.
Right? That's
That
the
Silver
worst
Shamrock song just gets stuck in your head.
Oh no.
No.
But I feel like here's the thing of like even the bad like they don't have to be good necessarily to be enjoyable. Like,
True. Most horror movies are not good, for the record. That's what makes them good, is that they're bad.
No, that like I disagree with that so strongly, and I feel like the good ones can be great, you know?
Yeah,
and
no,
like
agree.
that's awesome. And I hate when people are like, "Oh, it's a bad horror movie that's good." It's like, no, no, thank you. I don't want
in the
no bad
three-finger
good.
scale. You
yeah,
have to
I don't
have
want bad
the
good.
bad movies. Good, bad.
Notice
bad,
I flipped it. Bad good.
They're kind of the same thing.
Yeah, no, I know.
There are bad good movies.
What?
Never mind.
No,
Continue
I'm
on.
just saying I don't enjoy that the whole subsection. There are a couple movies in there like Aquaman where it's like, all right, I get it. All right, moving on to our next news story.
Oh my God.
The new Mortal Kombat movie will be R-rated.
I feel like that makes sense.
Of course it should be.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch the vignette that they released from Comic-Con? So yesterday they had the Terminator panel at San Diego Comic-Con. They brought Arnold Schwarzenegger out and a bunch of the other cast was there. And then online they released this like around 90 seconds to 2 minutes vignette of like a behind the scenes look at the making of Terminator Dark Fate. It features director Tim Miller. We've got a lot of...
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait. Was that
Mortal
through Mortal
Kombat?
Kombat?
Did I say Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did I say Mortal
I
Kombat?
don't know.
That's really
We
weird.
got Terminator news coming.
Freudian slip.
Yeah.
No, Terminator Dark Fate. So they have director Tim Miller.
He's committing to it, huh?
Wait.
I'm just-
No, he's
Don't
talking
fuck
about
with me.
no, he's talking about Mortal Kombat.
Oh.
yeah, I was saying Mortal Kombat's going to be rated R.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Terminator being rated R.
Did I say Terminator?
No,
I'm pretty sure you said Mortal Kombat.
I'm so confused. Mortal Kombat
My
going to be
brain is
rated
thinking
R.
about Terminator.
Yeah.
Never mind. Continue.
Mortal Kombat going to be rated
Very confused.
I got confused, and then
This is what
afterwards
happens
I
when
was
you
like,
don't eat breakfast, kids.
"Yeah, it
You want
sucks."
some of my coffee?
No, what I don't need is any more caffeine.
Over caffeinated?
But I think it was the producer. Barry, if you want to look at see who tweeted it out, maybe it was the director.
I thought that they said this like a month or two ago about Mortal Kombat being rated R.
I think they were saying they like
Greg
want it to be.
Russo, who might be the writer or something. Hold on. Greg Russo tweeted out, since it's already been stated by other members of the teams, I'm going to put this one to bed. MK will be rated R. So I think there was like some like semi-confirmation from other people who were working on it, but this is like a kind of final confirmation of like, yes, it
And
will
it's
be
just
R.
cool to think that we're going to get real fucked up fatalities.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
very
excited.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't watched like any of the old Mortal Kombat movies. I don't have any
You
attachment.
haven't watched the old Mortal
No.
Kombat movie? Oh,
I have
see,
no
there we
attachment
go,
to Mortal
me
Kombat as a
immediately
franchise.
Flip-flopping where it's like, those movies are good in a bad way.
I
Alright.
loved the Mortal Kombat movies. Absolutely. I mean, how do you not make this rated R?
I don't. Yeah.
I mean, those weren't.
I know, but
Yeah.
like, if you're gonna listen, if you're gonna go back, we all know that like the reason why like the original Mortal Kombat movie was great is because it was a fun, cheesy 90s movie,
Yeah.
right? But like trying to do that style in 2019 or 2020 just does not play.
Yeah.
So you have to like go all in on the action.
Yeah, now the reason why I think those are good, that's pure nostalgia.
Yeah.
Like me being a kid and being like, oh my God, these are characters that I know.
Pure nostalgia.
Like those movies aren't
Yeah.
good.
Well,
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat doesn't have the zeitgeist in general pop culture that it did when the original Mortal Kombat movie came out. Like back then, it was all over the news as being this really grotesque video game and really calling into question, like, should we talk about regulating violence in video games back in like the arcade days of gaming, right? And so that's why I think that was able to have the success it did then. Mortal Kombat, clearly a household name for gamers, but not necessarily for people who don't play video games, right?
yeah.
In the brief time that I was working at IGN, about 8 months, only one video went like viral where we put it on the YouTube and it like exploded. And it was the reveal of
YouTube.
Scorpion in the Mortal Kombat 10, maybe?
that
and
might
it's
have
just
been
like-
9.
maybe
around that
9?
time, Yeah.
Yeah, because
And it's just like that was. I did not expect the frenzy to be as big as it was, but people
Yeah.
were so excited
well, because 9 was really the beginning of the
of the
reboot,
new stuff.
right?
Yeah. But like, I've never seen a video go like to this day from nothing to over 1 million in like 15 minutes.
People love
Shocking.
that. People
That's
love
crazy.
that combat.
They really do.
The one thing I have to ask for this movie
I'm listening.
is a cameo or like a little Easter egg of Shaggy from Scooby-Doo being in this movie.
It's not gonna happen.
What? Why?
Because
the whole
there's that
internet
whole
thing where
movement
they
of
wanted
Shaggy being in Mortal Kombat the game.
It was dumb.
So I feel like they.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was a
No,
big thing.
Barrett. No.
Yes.
he's he's one of these tweens.
Yeah, he is a tween, isn't he?
Hot topic back
I'm
there.
24.
You got it, Milk Boy. Let's move on to our next story. Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. coming to an end after season 7.
It's about time.
I don't think any of you guys.
You guys could have told me it was over 2 years ago, and I would have believed
Same
you.
thing.
No, it's still they keep them alive. Season 6 was hard to like pin down to actually get it made. But like this is like cool news in the they're gonna get to end their story. So it's not just gonna get canceled and just stop. Like it seems like the team is gonna be able to finish their story off, and it's always good when movies or shows get to have a proper end, especially something that's going on for 7 seasons, 4 of which I watched and enjoyed.
Yeah. Does that mean that was this the last remaining like Marvel series that was still ongoing between?
Kind of.
TV
It wasn't
and
connected
streaming?
to those.
But like,
As far as anyone
Yeah.
could tell, those are all so where it's like some people argue that it's canon, other people will say like no, it's not.
and people were
canon.
talking about how there was like some reference to that in Endgame too, right? Was that a conversation?
Endgame. I don't remember. I know there's a reference to it in Age of Ultron,
Okay.
where like how do they get the hanger? And it's
Got
like
it.
oh, the helicarrier. It's like, oh, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had it. And it's like, okay, cool.
Because
great.
I was just wondering
Awesome.
from the sense of like, is this Marvel kind of ending all of those in one slate to now have kind of a clean beginning to start all of the Disney streaming
I believe
stuff?
that the Netflix ones are not connected to the TV shows, and it's weird because like Ghost Rider is gonna be a thing on Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. gonna have a definitive end. That's exciting. Let them close out their story however they want, whether it's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe or some other universe. We'll never know.
Interesting.
Next story, Mindhunter Season 2 release date confirmed by
Yeah!
David Fincher.
Woo!
The official date is August 13th.
Fuck yeah!
I'm excited. Mindhunter, fucked up.
So good.
Fucked up show.
Do I maybe want to now rewatch season 1 and go right into season 2?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm thinking about doing it because I
think I
don't
wanna do
remember a lot from season 1.
I don't either.
Yeah, I just remember the last scene, which was like really terrifying for him.
Dumb. You know?
Yeah,
Got way
it was
too
a
comfortable
dumb, yeah, it was
with
a dumb move. on
like
his part.
giant serial killer.
I mean, yeah.
Dude is huge. Like Greg Miller size.
Not
But, like,
bigger.
Bigger.
Did you watch Mindhunter, Andrea?
No,
Do you care about serial killers? True
Not-
crime stuff?
not particularly. No.
Well,
There we go.
I mean, but if it's good, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
It's good if you like crime.
I feel like if you don't like those things,
it's
it might
kind
not
of
be
slow
your-
and a little too artsy fartsy, you know?
So skip it. You're saying.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not like drawn, like if I say, hey, like serial killers, and you're not like, oh, what do they do?
Not one of the murderinos.
You know? Then it's like skip it.
Okay.
All right, cool. But I like it, and if you like season 1, season 2 is coming. Not too far away. Not just
I
less
just
than a
want
month.
someone in the Panzer G2 is like Mindhunter as good as Veronica Mars or Riverdale.
Didn't watch either
Wait,
of
say that
those.
again.
Those-
Mindhunter is very different than both
very
those shows.
different. Like,
very
why are
different.
we comparing
Those are like
those?
CW shows.
Yeah. And I think those shows are also very different from each other.
Yeah.
Not like totally different, but like different enough where I'd put them in
wouldn't put them
different
in different
categories.
yeah.
Is Veronica Mars not more like Sync or Psych?
I've never watched Veronica
Okay.
Mars, so I don't know.
It's like an investigative
Yeah,
journalism
Monk
show,
and that
right?
whole era
Yeah.
of like
A little bit more comedic
PI stuff.
heavy,
Yeah.
where Riverdale seems more like a drama.
Yeah.
teen drama.
Yeah. Missing Link says more like Criminal Minds. Yes, but Criminal Minds is so like quick because they go. I've been watching a lot of Criminal Minds. It's on Netflix. There's like 14 seasons of it. Let me tell you. That moves too fast. I feel like Mindhunter is more of like a
It's a good build.
storyline.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like if you're not familiar, it's based off of a true story, and it's kind of like these two guys who are.
But it's like loosely based.
Yeah, it's loosely
Very
based.
loosely.
Not very loosely,
Like
but
super loosely.
No, okay,
Like mostly fiction.
okay.
We got a big
it's
argument about
basically
this last week.
God, fucking, I hate you. It's about like them learning about serial killers and like doing the kind of the first study on serial killers.
Right, it's
and
about designing the profiling serial killers that
right
allow
help prevent.
like the FBI to actually understand how to catch these people.
Yep.
Yeah. Next story, one that I hope Barrett's excited about. Batman Beyond finally getting remastered Blu-ray
Yeah, boy!
release this October. All right, good. He's
Okay,
excited
Hot Topic
because
over
I'm
there.
excited as shit. Blu-ray Batman Beyond. I'm so in.
Fuck yeah, dude!
Oh man.
I'm so excited.
That was
I don't remember this series super well, but I remember watching it a lot as a kid. And
That was a lot of excitement for something
You
you,
guys
don't
are
remember.
man-childs.
Yes. Was there any question?
No.
All right, guys.
No.
Just reiteration.
I remember loving it as a kid, so I'm excited to like go back. Like the thing that people are always surprised about me is like my big blind side for Batman history is the animated series.
Really?
Like, that came like right before my time, and then like I feel like I was in the perfect stage for when Batman Beyond was a thing. So yeah, Batman Beyond was like my childhood Batman
I believe they're
show.
connected.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same Bruce.
continuation, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like that was my Batman show growing up, and then, yeah, I don't remember it super well, but I'm absolutely gonna get this Blu-ray collection and go back and watch it all.
Is this the one with Will Friedle
Yes.
that everyone like
Yes.
raves about? Okay.
It's great. It really is fantastic. Also, I believe it's also connected to Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. So there is quite
Yeah.
an animated world in there you can
Oh,
jump
yeah.
into. Moving on to our next story, Paper Girls TV series based on Brian K. Vaughan
Comic.
and
Interesting.
being delivered to Amazon.
Paper Girl's one of those ones that's like perpetually on my list for when I eventually get back into comics. I don't know. It's an expensive hobby to have.
It is very expensive. That was,
but
one
everyone
that-
raves about it. I feel like I hear about that, and I hear about now I can't remember, of course, but
Birthright.
Saga
Oh, Saga, yeah.
as
Saga's
like the
great.
two like oh my gosh must read things.
Yeah. Paper Girls is very cool, and like this article I was reading is like, oh yeah, it's kind of similar to Stranger Things, and like the aspect of like, you know, this weird shit starts happening, government, all this crazy stuff's going on. It is one of the comic books we did for Greg's comic book show. Or
Yeah,
like,
probably
whenever
back
it was
in the
the
day.
morning show.
Oh shoot, yeah, that was a while ago.
Comic Wednesdays. I don't even know
Yeah.
what we called it, but it was enjoyable. I'm interested in like this. There's this huge fad right now where all these comic book are getting turned into like Amazon shows.
Yeah,
So it's
because they
cool to
had
see one more.
Lock and Key too, right? As well?
Lock and Key's being thrown around with like sci-fi. I think
Okay.
that they might have it now. Maybe Netflix. I remember, I think it was Netflix that has Lock and Key. Hopefully someone does something great, because Lock and Key is one of my favorite comics. It's amazing. Thanks, Jay Fitz, for recommending it, because it is phenomenal.
Do you think there's going to be a point when we hit critical mass of there's too many competing comic book shows and there's just not enough of a big enough audience for all of the individual brands
But-
to have sustainability?
I think that we're gonna like, it's just gonna become where it's like books that get turned into movies or shows. It's where it's like, oh, that's just one medium that they pull from, where it's just gonna be like normal. It's gonna be less of a big deal, because like it's not like they're similar. Like so many of
'Cause
these
it's
comic
not all
books are totally
superhero,
different. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Right.
They're so completely different from each other.
And there's a lot of series that are based on comic books that people don't even realize are based on comic books.
Walking Dead. I think people forget.
It's crazy.
Really?
Walking
People
Dead
don't-
is over.
I think people who aren't in our circle have no idea that it's based on a comic.
that's crazy.
That's wild.
That blows my mind.
Like I feel like if I asked my dad, he would have no clue, and he
Does
loves
he
The
walk?
Walking Dead.
Still now?
No, I mean
No.
I don't know. Probably.
Call him up.
No, I'm not
kidding.
calling
I'm
my
just
dad.
kidding.
Call your dad. Is he a spy?
He's on a business trip in Idaho this week, so I don't know.
That's-
That's
Some
fucking weird,
suspicious
right? Is he
shit.
a spy? You know this theory?
No.
I don't
Joey's
really know what my
dad-
dad does because it's like a long, boring title. Never seems exciting to learn.
Also, he like
He also does like a lot. He has a lot of weird hobbies where like he used to race cars and then he did photography for a long time and now he's just like does competitive gun shooting stuff.
but like the
He
stuff
does sound like a spy.
right.
Now that you list it out,
But when she says
photography, cars, guns, that's definitely
lot
a
of
spy.
when
guns.
she says competitive gun shooting, it's the stuff that like it's
like John Wick stuff.
John Wick like did to like be John Wick.
Like the
So
targets.
it's like
and
this
all that
is
stuff.
really interesting stuff. Let's move on so we don't get put on anyone's list. Now it's time for some Terminator news.
Hooray! Sorry, I got confused, you guys.
No, it's
My
okay.
apologies.
It's okay. It happens sometimes. Terminator Dark Fate brings back Edward Furlong as John Connor.
Hell yeah.
Super exciting. I was just talking to Barrett. I was like, the best thing this movie could do is to bring back John Connor and it be the original kid.
Yeah.
And Barrett was like, it's never going to happen. That's a stupid dream, Kevin. Stupid. And I was just like,
I
oh,
don't
this
think
hurts.
that. I don't think that's what I said.
That's the way I remember it.
I do remember saying I don't think that'll happen. I'm surprised that they're
Well,
doing
you
this.
were wrong, dum-dum.
I
Take
was wrong.
that.
Okay.
I think when James Cameron calls you and says, "Hey, I'm making a Terminator movie. Do you want to come be part of it?" You don't say no to James Cameron, and that's like what I was trying to talk about with this vignette that I thought was really great because I think a lot of people have reservations about Terminator: Dark Fate, and rightly so. The last couple movies, didn't have a cohesive
They were
feel
terrible.
to them. Right? I didn't think they were terrible. I've seen
hated
worse movies.
They're not great though.
But obviously they don't hold a candle to the first two, right? And so what I love about, James Cameron's reinvigorated involvement in Terminator is that, he's working with this fantastic director to bring back that feel, that grittiness that the first movies had. But because it's, 2019, it's going to have this like bombastic action element to it that I thought they did really well, particularly with Terminator 2. The action in that movie is fantastic,
good.
but the way that cinematic stunts have evolved over the last 20 plus years has been really crazy, and so I love that they're bringing that kind of like over the top like popcorn flick piece to it, but also retaining that kind of grittiness and like raw, like kind of like dark violent part about the Terminator series because like the first Terminator is like super intense. And so if you guys have never seen it, obviously please watch it. It's great.
It weirdly, like, I watched both of them.
The effects aren't great.
I watched both of them earlier this week just because I was in a weird mood. But yeah, Terminator 1 weirdly just like I love it, and it's still like for what it does at the time, it's like really cool. But there's a lot of things in that movie that just does not hold up. And then like you go to 2, and that movie still like you could put that up against any big action movie today, and I think it's still better than almost all of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm pumped for Dark Fate.
It seems like they have
I'm
kind of
excited
all
too.
their ducks in a row for this one.
Yeah.
Which
Let's
could
just hope
help
that the
them or
story
hurt.
is there.
Of like, this could be a huge swing and a miss, or it could be
What's
really
the
great.
name of the new Terminator? Mackenzie
Davis?
Yes.
Yeah. The girl from Black Mirror.
I like the tone that she has.
Yeah.
in
I
it.
like her.
Yeah.
I think she's been really great. And she's been Black Mirror in one other thing that I've watched.
There
I
is
can't remember.
no way that this swings and misses. I'm
Oh.
calling it right
All
now.
right, that's a big.
There's
That's
no
a
way
bold-
that
That's a
there's
big
no way this
goal.
flops. There's no way this
Really?
flops.
What's the last thing James Cameron did?
The last movie he did?
Yeah.
I mean, but this is him producing it, so it's a little.
Oh, he's not
different.
directing this?
No,
I thought he
Tim
was
Miller
directing.
is directing. The guy who directed Deadpool.
Yeah.
Did you like Deadpool?
Interesting.
Yes.
It was a fantastic movie, wasn't it? Was it the action really well done in that movie?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the action wasn't like what that movie was about. It was the comedy.
I mean, I think it goes hand in hand. You
I
can't
feel like
have a
the
Deadpool
first
movie
one's
that's just a
action-
comedy, right? Like you have to have the violence because like
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Deadpool's
But
thing,
I do
right?
feel like because they were low budget movies, like the action wasn't as good as it could have been.
Right, but now
Now, yes.
he's proven himself.
Right,
He's like,
right,
look
right.
what I did with Deadpool.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic representation of what his talent is capable of, and then you get some money and some leadership from a guy like James Cameron, who is the most, arguably the most well-known producer in the world.
Still now,
right?
like has a number 1 and number 3 spot of the most successful
Marvel
movies of all time.
re-released Avengers Endgame to try to topple Avatar, and they couldn't do it.
They'll re-release it again, and it will beat it. It will win.
The last thing that Cameron did before this was Alita Battle Angel, writer producer.
Damn, I actually like that.
I haven't seen it yet, but it looks good.
10 years between Avatar and Alita Battle Angel. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
He's been quiet, but yeah, I like Alita Battle Angel has a lot going on, maybe too much for how much of a movie it is. But like I think like they do it in a cool way that makes me want to know more, and it's like I don't think it's gonna get a sequel because of how much it made.
The reservation that I still have, it's like, yes, Tim Miller is a good action director from what we've seen, but again, if you go back to T2, like the action is not the forefront of what that movie is, and it's not why that movie is so great. Like when you go back to it, like you remember, like before I watched that movie for the first time, and probably a while, like I thought there was more action in it than there actually was. And it was more of like the themes and all of that, like
The
the
build-up,
balance,
right?
It has some
build up in the balance of it. Whereas like I hope they know to pull back on that a little bit, and
They won't.
and the trailer definitely tells me that they won't. And that's like I think the mistake of Terminator 3, Salvation, and Genesis is that they kind of went the whole other direction. Where it's like, all right, let's focus on the action because that's what people love about these movies. It's like, no, that's not what made 2 one of the best movies.
You don't want to. It's hard to show those quiet moments that build narrative.
That's true.
In a trailer, particularly a Comic-Con trailer,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
I know.
And so I think I wouldn't count them out yet for not having those moments in there.
Yeah.
Obviously, we haven't seen anything of Edward Furlong in any of the promotional material, right? So
Right.
Yeah.
his role in the story is unknown.
Well, because it was saying, I was reading something on it that it was confirmed that he was going to be in there in CGI, and then it was just at Comic-Con that he was going to actually do it IRL. I don't, which makes me think that
we still
he
don't
doesn't
know
have
how
a
big
huge
his role is. I
If,
actually
if they were going to do CGI stuff, makes me think it was relatively small, right?
the what I have here, I have the wiki pulled up. Joshua Dela Cruz serves as the body double for young John Connor, while CGI will be applied to recreate Furlong's facial likeness from 1991 in flashback scenes. So I think that's the extent of the CGI.
And then we'll see.
I think it'd be
old-
really cool if we get a scene of
Is
him.
it like getting the gang back together?
Well, no, I mean, I like to hope that he's just living a regular life, and like the mom sees him from a distance, and we get to see like, oh shit, because they changed the future, he's living a regular life. Now this girl is gonna be like give birth to the next
like human leader for the,
exactly.
Yeah.
They're trying to, and because the mom is so affected by it, she's trying to help stop it still.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
yeah, I am too. Moving on to our next story, Netflix lost a huge number of customers. In a business report, they stated they lost 130,000 customers in the U.S. and the stock has plunged 12% since yesterday, which
Wait.
is
That's a big. That's a big dip.
2 days ago maybe. That's a big drop,
And that's over Q2, right?
No, Q3.
Q3.
Q3, because they're saying Q4 is going to be hopefully more successful. I might be wrong about those numbers, but that's a big drop that like they're saying because their slate right now is not great, which is also not something great to say. But like they're like, oh, it's fine. Our next quarter slate is amazing, so we're gonna get them all back, which is interesting because I feel like they're also losing two giant shows, The Office and Friends, at the end of this year and next year, and it's just like I'm interested to see with Disney Plus coming out how Netflix is gonna take it, because Netflix is a huge company, widely successful, but they also spend so much of the money they make making the content, and it's just like now that things are getting a little bit trickier and with all the price hikes, like it's gonna be hard for them to retain people.
Well, it also doesn't help when stories come out like the one we saw about a week ago, where we get this internal report or memo where they talk about how they have an algorithm where they need to cancel shows after the second season because making a third, fourth, and fifth and beyond season is too expensive. And that's also when they have to start paying talent more money, and both above the line and below the line. And that was a really gross thing to read, that Netflix isn't committed to reinvesting in the
they
property.
Are with some shows like Stranger Things and House of Cards stayed alive for a long time, and Orange is the New Black went on for way too long.
Yes.
Right?
That season is coming out like soon, right?
I know, it's right around the corner. It's like, do you care? I liked that show at one point.
I think though, despite that story left a bad taste in people's mouths about like, I have no reason to get committed to any of these characters or any of these shows because you're just going to cancel them anyway.
No. I think even though they like in the article they were pretending this wasn't the issue, I think that the price going up was enough of a motivator for people to be like, Disney Plus is coming and I'm not using my Netflix as much. I'm out of here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that and the NBC and the not HBO. There's another one that's coming.
HBO Max.
HBO Max. Yeah.
There's just too many. This was writing on the wall, right? That like if you're not going to pay for cable, then all of these individual services are going to want to break out into their own subscription service. By the time you tally up everything you're paying for individually, you might as well be paying for cable.
And eventually, we are going to get people that
is,
combine everything back into one package, and it's just going to be like cable.
Well, the problem is now, even if you have cable, you still don't have access to all these shows that are proprietary to whatever streaming service they're on.
Exactly.
This is the streaming wars. Like, they're gonna happen right now. Hopefully, it will bring prices down, and we'll see whether it becomes like there's some way that they can be combined, or like some service where it's like you're paying this and you get access to these, or if it gets cheap enough where you can have 3 different services and work it out with family or something where you can share it and it's economical.
Thanks for reminding me that I need to cancel my CBS All Access because I just never use it anymore.
She's canceling her subscription live on the show.
Sorry.
You did. Oh, you crossed that one out.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about this one at all, or no?
No, I mean, that's like breaking stuff that I didn't have a chance to grab or read, so I was just going to bring it up. But I feel like now we have to talk about it.
I mean,
What is it?
I'm down.
Go ahead.
Okay, so there's been some news going around today after an Entertainment Weekly exclusive that came out during Comic-Con about The Witcher, Netflix's series. Speaking of Netflix, the showrunners have talked about their new series and how it's a very adult show. If you guys have played any of the Witcher video games or read the Witcher books, you know that there is a lot of adult material in those games and books. So Netflix has says, your post Game of Thrones epic adult fantasy fix. The Witcher is another sprawling exotic world based on best-selling series of books about an ensemble of morally ambiguous characters who continually challenge your assumptions about who's a hero or a villain. Except The Witcher also has a lot of diverse monsters playing very pivotal roles in the story. So the showrunner, Lauren Hisrich from Daredevil, gives her first in-depth interview about the upcoming series with new insight about landing Henry Cavill as Geralt and the Siri casting controversy, comparisons to Game of Thrones, and some new hints about the secretive storyline. So they do this whole interview. If you guys want to read it, of course, it's over at EW.com if you want the whole thing. But I'm going to skip down to...
There's gonna be nudity? A lot of nudity?
Yes, there's definitely going to be
I would
nudity.
imagine.
Give me nude Henry Cavill, or we fucking riot.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Are we gonna
yes,
get that
please.
scene of him with
Full frontal. Is that what I'm
bathtub?
talking about? High five. No? No one? Joey? Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. I mean, I'm down for full frontal. That's fine.
All
by
right,
me.
well, no, you can't jump on the bandwagon now.
I'm
Me and
trying
Joey
to cherry
celebrated.
pick what out of this massive
Yeah,
article we should talk
this is
about.
why I was gonna wait till next
but
week.
one thing is, so it says, how did The Witcher first get on your radar? Were you familiar with it before, or did you do a crash course after being approached? And she says, a little of both. I read The Last Wish and really loved it, but I never would have called myself a fantasy writer before this. I've done some comic book shows and I've done a lot of drama. So when I read the book, I loved it, but I never thought I should adapt it personally. When Netflix reached out about,
Then they
I read
offered
the
me
short
money and I
stories
changed my
again
mind.
and started thinking about what I could bring to this. These three characters, Geralt, Yennefer, and Ciri, really rose to the surface. If you take all of the other fantasy elements away, you take the magic and the story and the violence and the sex away, you still have three characters who are this broken, disjointed family who really need each other, and even though they don't want to admit it. And that was one of the most appealing things to me. But there will be magic and story and violence and sex. Yes.
Those are the things I like.
Yeah. I mean, that's what made Game of Thrones great, right?
Yep.
A noticeable dip in nudity from season 1 to season 8.
It's true. Very upsetting. Last news story. I'm going to just go over that quickly. Thor 4 coming with
Woo.
director Taika Waititi confirmed.
Woo!
And also live action Akira. Oh, it doesn't look good for it. It's put on
Is that backburnered now?
hold indefinitely.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay. Nick
know
was
what
right.
that
Nick
means.
last week was like, oh, this is never going to happen. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, shit, yeah. Yeah, he's working on too much stuff, and Thor 4 is more important, and we all know that's true.
It is.
So
Just watch the old Akira, you know?
it's still not, like, I don't like Akira. I can't get into it. Don't know what the hell's going on. Very confusing. Maybe I'm a dum-dum. I don't know.
You're
I
not a
think you are.
dum-dum. The studio is going,
What's gonna make more money?
Akira or Thor.
No. I'm saying Akira's storyline. I don't get.
Well,
It
no,
looks
of course, it's
cool.
confusing.
Yeah.
Is Thor 4 gonna be like him and the Guardians?
I don't know.
We think. We
there's,
hope.
There's
we
no
hope?
information. We absolutely hope that it is. Yeah.
we don't know, like,
Guardians 2.5.
I mean, I'm
or
just down
whatever.
with a Thor and Rocket adventure.
Yeah, same.
I'm in. Yeah.
I want more Valkyrie.
And
I could go-
what's
Meek?
Waititi's name?
Meek and Krill.
Meek and Krog.
Yeah.
Krog.
Oh my God, so good.
Korg.
Yeah.
Craig.
Yeah, I want them. I want them
Right.
back for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe playing more Fortnite. Who knows?
As long as Valkyrie doesn't have a stick up her butt anymore.
What?
What?
She was a sad sack.
Yeah, she was
In
an
Ragnarok.
alcoholic that was going through a lot of things because all her friends got killed in front of her.
And then the
And
last.
then Thor's like, "Yo, I know what it's like to go through some hard stuff. Let me just
his
like
family
relay everything
had
that
just
happened."
died moments,
Yeah,
like
and he
days
pulled,
earlier.
and he pulled himself up by his bootstraps and still was able to go out and
she
save the universe.
recognized that and was like, I need to do something better with my life.
That's all I'm saying, Kevin. Is
Yeah.
like I'm only down for Valkyrie if she's gonna be.
I think
if she's gonna be
new-
fun Valkyrie.
New Queen Valkyrie is much cooler. When ready to-
CRS1 says could be as Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, that's
Perfect.
God, I really hope that Thor 4 as Guardians of the Galaxy is what they call it.
Please.
All right, now it's time for some ads. Our first ad is Zebit. No one likes zero of anything. Like when you break your phone and lose contact with the outside world. Zero calls, zero texts, zero social media. Why are you looking at me like that?
Because if I swing around this way, Kevin, I'm in the screen with you.
I know, but then you're staring at me. All right, going back to the ad. Honestly, life without phone means pretty much zero everything. Having zero of anything is hardly ever a good thing unless we're talking about Zebit. That's Zebit. They'll change your whole perspective on zero forever. The best thing about Zebit is that the zero interest financing. Zebit provides a better credit option for those who need They allow you to buy what you need and pay overtime interest-free. There's no cost to join, no membership fees, and no late fees. Zebit does not check your credit, and your Zebit account won't affect your credit score. Zebit has everyday items at everyday prices. They have more than 50,000 products in their marketplace with brand names like Xbox, Sony, Apple, GoPro, and Fitbit. From electronics to barbecues, furniture, and more, Zebit has everything you need for when you need it. It also has a 5-star rating on Trustpilot, and they've earned the trust of more than 1 million customers. Sign up for Zebit today at zebit.com/morning and get up to $2,500 credit to shop the Zebit marketplace at zero interest and zero cost to join. That's zebit.com/morning for up to $2,500 of interest-free credit. Zebit.com/morning. Credit, really important. That's why our next ad will help you with that. Upstart. As most of you guys have found out the hard way, getting into debt is easy. Getting out is hard, especially if your FICO score isn't great. Thankfully, now that there's Upstart.com, the revolutionary lending platform that knows you're more than just your credit score and offers smarter interest rates to help you pay off high-interest credit card debt. Tim and Nick both have friends that have suffered with credit issues and could have really used Upstart, but they didn't know about it, and now you do. So Upstart goes beyond the traditional FICO score when assessing your credit worthiness. They actually reward you based on your education and job history in the form of smarter interest rates. They make it fast, simple, and easy to check your rate in just a few minutes without affecting your credit score. The best part, once your loan is approved, most people get their funds the very next day, the very next business day. Over 200,000 people have used Upstart to pay off credit cards, student loans, fund their weddings, or make large purchases. Free yourself from the burden of high-interest credit card debt by consolidating everything into one monthly payment with Upstart. See why Upstart is ranked #1 in their category with over 300 businesses on Trustpilot. And hurry to upstart.com/morning to find out how low your Upstart rate is. Checking your rate only takes a few minutes and won't affect your credit. That's upstart.com/morning. I told Andrea, be cool about this ad.
I couldn't help it. Also, can I just say,
you can cut back.
I love that you guys can't see this. The type on
Cut
this
back,
page
Barrett.
is so much bigger than the type on the normal pages.
No. If I were to try to read it with that normal font that I use and like to look at, it's so hard. You have so much practice and you're so good at it, you know?
Oh, thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, but it's so hard.
All you gotta do is keep practicing.
Yeah, I guess. I hate it. Now it's time for some trailer talk.
Trailers.
Okay.
I'm really excited.
Hey, we gotta get a jingle for you.
I thought Barrett was going to come in with the talks.
Oh, just grab everything.
No, I just thought he'd make it right there.
No.
I thought you guys would vibe together
It's
that
fine,
way.
I got it.
First trailer we're talking about, His Dark Materials. HBO show?
Yeah.
Yes.
It seems very Lion Witch in the Wardrobe kind of like
It's Golden
vibe.
Compass, right?
I don't know.
Yes, so it's called The Golden Compass here, but I
Golden
realized...
Compass was the movie that came out a while ago.
Yeah, the first book is called Northern Lights. So I bought it when I was in London, actually. We went to a bookstore. Summer and I went to a bookstore because she had recommended the series to me because I hadn't read it before. And when I saw the promo after the Game of Thrones finale, I was like, oh, I need another fantasy thing to read. And so she was like, have you ever read the His Dark Materials series? And I was like, no, I have not. So now I'm reading it.
Cool.
Published as The Golden Compass in North America.
Oh.
Yes. So that's book 1. And it's interesting how a lot of what we saw in this new trailer is in the first half of that book. So it'll be curious to see how they
breaking
dole
it up.
out. Yeah.
How many
the
books are
content.
there? Do you know?
I believe there are 3.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad. I thought this was interesting, and I still have my HBO account, so I'll check it out when it comes out.
The thing that's tough about his Dark Materials versus a fantasy series like Game of Thrones is that there's not a lot of really difficult to understand concepts about Game of Thrones. It's so heavily based on the relationships and the politics between these families. His Dark Materials series has a lot of really complex fantasy and sci-fi elements to it that are difficult to explain in a television series, and so it'll be interesting to see how the showrunners approach that, because it's lot
without like a ton of exposition,
right? Like the books are a lot more nerdy than the
kid is connected to the
books.
little mongoose, and then maybe later the bear.
Right? No,
real interesting stuff.
So in his Dark Materials series, people in this world have like an animal companion called a daemon. And everybody's daemon can change what they represent. So Lyra is the young girl that you see who's like the kind of the star of the series, and
she's the girl from Logan too, right?
Yes, she is, same actress.
It's cool to see her doing more stuff.
Yeah, no, it's really neat. I'm trying to figure out if I can find like an exact definition of what the daemons are, but essentially like they're. I don't want to call them like a literal spirit animal, but they kind
of
are
they like familiars, kind of.
I think
not
but
really.
Like, it seemed like when they were hurting her, like
right. So when
it was hurting her.
So like that golden
ferret?
monkey.
Was it a ferret?
No, it was a monkey. It's a golden monkey.
No. Hers.
So her daemon changes forms quite frequently, and some
they change.
Yeah, they can
forms.
change into different animals. So like in the book, for example, her daemon can change forms between, like in some scenes he's like a moth, so he can like be relatively unseen, and then like in another scene he'll be a panther, right? So he can.
Can she hear what the daemon can hear? Like
yes.
How connected? Yeah.
Oh, well, no. Not quite like that.
Okay.
But like they have like a soul connection.
Got it.
So essentially, like, when a human dies, something I can't remember exactly what happens.
Something not good happens.
But yeah, so that's why you're seeing all these different animals. But the polar bears are something different. So they're like a different race within the fantasy series.
Interesting.
So they aren't daemons. They are. There's a name for them.
Also, I was getting some flat Earth theory happening. There was like instead of a globe, they showed like this giant dome that looked like it was flat Earth.
Interesting.
Oh, I didn't think about it that way. Yeah. Like, here's the thing. There's a lot of
just flat Earth propaganda.
There's a lot of complex things happening. This is why this is going to be a tougher sell.
It looks interesting, and like this trailer got me where I was like, I want to check this out. Joey?
No.
Okay, cool.
This is that
You're
stuff
out.
is not my stuff.
Mm-hmm. And you're in?
Oh, dude, I'm all the way in.
Bear, did you
I'm
watch these
down
trailers?
for this nerdy fantasy stuff. This is my wheelhouse.
I haven't seen this trailer. I vaguely remember like the Golden Compass, and it's the type of shit that I'm into. So
yeah. So you think you're gonna be into it?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's move on to our next trailer, Untouchable. This was a fucked up trailer. It was very
intense.
dark.
So
Yeah.
this, if you haven't watched it, is the Harvey Weinstein
documentary on Hulu.
Yeah.
And it just, I feel like this is something important to be made so that people could understand such a complex thing that, like, if you don't hear it from the source, like, you may like not understand what's going on. And I feel like it looks like this documentary is gonna do like interviews with the women that are accusing him of rape. And the trailer was really powerful, and like, man, I'm interested to watch this, and I think it's gonna be a tough watch, but
yeah, for me this falls into like the R. Kelly series and even kind of the
Michael Jackson series.
Michael
too.
Jackson, and then When They See Us, even of like things that like I'm not really excited to watch because I know that it's going to be like really heavy and rough, but it's things that I still think are important to watch.
Well.
Yeah, I think what is really important about what they're doing with this documentary is they're putting a face on the Me Too movement, which really took the Hollywood scene by storm, but then has now subsided. But what one of the women in the trailer emphasizes is that, this is just the tip of the iceberg of the Me Too movement. He's just a big face to put on this movement, but that it happens everywhere. And another woman in the trailer said, like, it's not over now that Harvey Weinstein is, getting prosecuted and that he's been, dethroned from his place in Hollywood. Like, it's still everywhere in Hollywood, still everywhere around the world. In every industry, women are dealing with this. This was not just like a cinematic thing. In the movie making business, this is like systemic everywhere. Like, and I keep saying that because it's almost like people don't understand that women go through this every day, all day, in every country. It's just part of being a woman in a really tragic sad, fucked up way.
Yeah. So, and something that documentaries can do that are so great is show people that don't get that, and it's it doesn't. That's not something that happens all the time to men, so it is hard to understand and to even feel that like the power dynamic that goes into play with that and like how people can take advantage of that is difficult for people to grasp because it's so far away from something that they know. Where it's like
absolutely
seeing something like this can help people understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now to much lighter news. Ode to Joy was a trailer that I watched, and like it was in this giant recap of. I watch like 20 trailers every week, and this
to
was,
figure out what to put on.
Yeah,
the
what
list.
to put on, and typically like one of my sources just has a bunch of trailers that are just kind of like, oh, these are mediocre, and like this movie really like kind of for a moment like I was like. What an interesting premise where the dude
I'm so excited
right?
about
Okay,
this.
I thought you'd like it, and I was excited that you were here to discuss it with me.
It's so based on our conversation during Internet Explorers yesterday about Andrea not watching
Rom-coms
Garden
or-
State or
Yeah.
500 Days of Summer. I know.
Alright, chill out,
Thank you.
man, chill out.
Holy shit, man.
I don't know if that's not your jam. I don't know that this is going to be your jam either.
Well, the only
Or did you
reason
watch it?
why this would be my jam, I watched the trailer,
Okay.
is because I love Martin Freeman. I think he's a fantastic actor. And I also love Morena Baccarin. She's also amazing. I don't know if I
What
said her
else
name
is
right.
she in?
She was in Deadpool.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
that's
she's also
what it is.
she's also been in a bazillion other
looking
movies.
it up.
And as the love interest because she's super charming and funny and I'm drop dead gorgeous, so she makes an easy movie love interest.
She has like this like charisma to her that is just
Yeah.
like it seems like she's like the funnest person in the world.
Yeah, she seems like
And
a
we
cool
see
hang.
that in this trailer too, where it's like, oh man, she seems awesome, and like this all sucks.
Yeah, so
you
for
are
peop-
like the it girl,
Yeah.
kind of like.
So for people who are confused or haven't heard about Ode to Joy, I'm just going to read the Rotten Tomatoes summary. It says, how does a man who is literally paralyzed by happiness find love? Thanks to a condition called cataplexy, a rare disorder that causes him to lose control of his muscles whenever he is overcome by strong emotion, particularly joy, Brooklyn librarian Charlie, played by Martin Freeman, has learned to carefully edit all delight-triggering people, places, and events out of his life. Family weddings, cute babies, adorable puppies, and yes, romance are all fraught with peril in Charlie's carefully managed world. But when the beautiful, spontaneous Francesca, played by Morena, falls for him, the risk-averse Charlie finds himself at a crossroads, suppress his feelings of attraction, or take a chance and let love in. Based on a true story originally featured on This American Life, Ode to Joy is a hilarious and touching look at what happens when we stop being afraid and let ourselves truly live.
I'm really excited for it.
Who was the brother?
The brother played
Jake Lacey.
he's in the like newer seasons of The Office.
Oh, that's right. He's the Jim.
He's like the
Jim.
new Jim. Yeah.
But he was also the love interest in the later seasons of Girls, which is where I recognized him from.
Some people hated that show though.
Interesting.
Yeah, some people hate everything, Kevin.
That's true. That's true.
I
Man.
feel like just some people really hate
Well, I was
Lena
trying to
Dunham.
Having
I was trying
watched
to figure out
Girls
where
was
I recognized
such an
him
awful
from.
experience
Yeah.
for me.
And that's where I recognized him from
Got
as
it.
Hannah's like teacher love interest in the I think
Fran
the last
Parker.
season of Girls or whatever. But yes, also
Anyways, I'm interested
TV.
in this movie.
It looks really fun.
Yeah,
it
when
looks
it comes
cute.
around, yeah, it looks cute. It looks like a movie.
this
fun
looks
time.
like a rent at home movie.
Yeah.
This gives me
Definitely.
major Dan in Real Life vibes.
Mm.
If you've seen that with Steve Carell,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like a similar like family love triangle thing. I'm excited for it.
Man, you know what I'm excited for?
No,
Talk
don't
about
say
this
it. Don't
next
say
swear
it.
to God.
trailer. Cats. Woo!
Oh
What a
my
ride!
god.
Well, I get that the design for Cats, the musical, was always creepy.
Yeah.
Super
Always
creepy.
weird. Did I want to do
Super
it for a
weird.
Halloween where we all dressed up as those cats?
Did you want those cats or did you just want to be sexy kittens? I feel like those are wildly different.
I wanted us all to be sexy kittens with the exception of Nick, and I wanted him to be full blown, like face painted cat's cat.
That would be
and then
very
he's the only
funny.
one that did sexy kitten.
I know.
Broke my heart.
I mean, you could bring it back this year.
I might. I'm
There's
always
nothing
every
more
year I'm
timely
pushing
than
for
Cats.
it. Every year I'm pushing for it.
Really
So-
quick, before we get into what the fuck this movie is, can we just say how bold it is for them to release this movie the same day that Star Wars Episode 9 comes out?
Different audiences.
Completely different
Oh,
audiences.
okay. All right.
But it is dumb.
There are plenty of people
There's
who have
different
never seen a
audiences.
Star Wars movie and never want to see a Star
Who
Wars
are gonna
movie
be
Okay.
who are
stoked
going
on
to
Cats.
But
run
here's
to
the
the
thing.
theater to watch Cats.
it's going to be in 2 showings.
But what was it? The Force Awakens that has the highest box rate in the United domestic.
Yeah, I think
It's like
Force Awakens.
there is no movie or franchise that is more like popular than the Star Wars.
Yeah.
And it is
But
a
Cats
bad
is
idea.
also like the longest running Broadway musical.
Yeah, but like it's still a bad idea to put that out when like
I don't think so. I think they're doing it intentionally.
It seems so
So
silly.
when the movie inevitably flops,
Fails.
They can
just
say-
blame it on Star Wars. They can just be like, "Oh, well, we had no choice. Star Wars, y'all."
They did have a choice, and everyone's gonna be like, "You had a choice. You didn't have to do it that week. You could have done it 2 months later. It would have been easy.
All right,
It
let's
would
talk
have been
about the
easy."
movie.
And
How
yeah,
fucked up
it
it is.
looks. Man, they definitely chose a style and went real hard because it looks so creepy.
I mean, that's like accurate to the source material.
Absolutely. Yet creepier. You know.
creepier.
Why
yeah.
is that one cat wearing a fur jacket? Did she skin other animals? What's happening?
You know why? Because I'm sure Dame Judi Dench was like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not wearing a fucking bodysuit. I'm Dame
Also
Judi
true.
Dench. I'm
Isn't
going to
that
wear a
cat-
fur coat.
I feel
and
like
that's
that
going to
cat
be
is-
it. And they were like, whatever you want.
Dame Judi Dench.
Man, Cats is such a weird thing of like, I love a lot of musicals and Broadway shows in general, and Cats has never been one that like I've understood. There was like a lot of threads going around on my timeline, mostly thanks to Belinda Garcia yesterday, who was on a retweeting spree about how it's like an inside joke within the like theater community. But Barrett and I were talking because I feel like we both have theater background, like
Yeah.
decent theater backgrounds.
Do you?
Yeah.
I know Barrett because he always talks about it, but you?
Yeah. It's just one of those things that never really comes up.
Okay.
But
I mean, it could come
feel,
up right now.
I just liked a lot of theater and I
Okay.
did theater stuff. Like it wasn't anything like
how
super
intense
crazy.
theater stuff?
Like I don't know. I don't even know what that means.
Like, did you do it in college?
I didn't do like performances, but I like helped and like did a lot of like the
Production
in-house
stuff?
stuff. Yeah.
I was a big theater kid.
But
No surprise. There.
it's
Right?
even in the theater community, I feel like it's kind of a joke, right?
Yeah,
like
it's always
not,
the butt end of the joke, you know?
I don't feel like I know, like the only person I know that's like a huge Cats fan is my aunt. She likes a lot of weird musicals and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
it seems
but
like some weird shit like my mom's mom would be into. Like, yeah.
I've always thought the concept is super interesting because it's like, hey, look at this imaginary world of like, you know, little creatures that you see around that like are pets, but also little wild animals that like clearly have their own rules. As like I know outside of my house, there's so many of them. I hate it. There's so many,
it's
and I don't like cats.
But like, let's double down on them being like super humanoid versions of cats. Like,
But I mean, that's just
so
them going
weird.
with the style that they picked so many years ago.
Yeah, I mean, they're just trying to, I think, maintain a connection to the Broadway play for people who really love it. And it's tough because Andrew Lloyd Webber's music is so powerful and so great, and he's just such a
Dude,
like
the
a
cast
luminary
they
in
have
the
is
theater
phenomenal.
community. But like even the music they chose, right? They chose like Memories, like this amazing
iconic song.
Yeah.
right? With Jennifer Hudson singing it, and she's got such a powerful, beautiful voice. And like even she couldn't save this trailer from how terrifying it is.
It's a terrifying.
If you want more information on Cats, you should go to Gary Whitta's Twitter. He retweeted a thread by Hannah Woodhead that says, "Okay, losers, listen up. I'm taking it upon myself to give you all an introduction to the Cats of Cats." And she goes through like character by character and gives you like the thing from the movie and from
Right.
the stage. It's a very funny thread. And if you really want to get in to the nitty gritty of this, you can. But it's a rabbit hole. I don't know if I recommend you going down. Andrea,
Yes.
as a cat lady,
Yes, I am
Repping
wearing
all
my
of your
cat
cats.
shirt right now.
do you have any interest in seeing this?
Oh, absolutely. I'm definitely going to see this. I love musical theater. I was in a ton of musical theater all the way up through college. And like, I will absolutely
you
see
li-
this. I will probably not pay to see it in a movie theater because
Have you seen Cats already?
No, I actually have never
Okay.
seen the Broadway, the full. I mean, I've heard a lot of the individual songs, of course, but never seen it on Broadway or anything. So I would love to see it eventually. But this is one of those movies that I absolutely have to see because I love watching musicals, but also I won't pay to see it in a theater. I just have a weird philosophy about paying to see movies in theaters that I usually only pay to see it in a theater if it's like requires a big screen. And to me, it's like action, things that are like heavy with CG.
You know, with A-lists, you can go as many times.
You can see 4 movies in one day.
There it is. Yeah.
There you go.
I know, but
Well,
there's
3
not
really.
there's not one close to my house though.
Oh yeah. Well, San Jose is the closest one to your house.
It's Cinemark is the closest one to my house, so that's the movie theater
But
closest.
It'll
But
be different.
There's a ton in LA.
There you go.
There is, but where we're looking to move
God, I
though.
want to talk about you moving.
ArcLight. ArcLight.
Oh,
Oh
ArcLight.
yeah,
so
ArcLight,
good.
man. Hell yeah.
It's my
ArcLight.
favorite movie theater chain.
No, it's not. It's ArcLight's terrible.
I don't know if
ArcLight's
that's
the best.
true. Is that the one that gives you blankets?
Cinépolis is the best.
Is
I've
that
actually
the
never
one that
been to a
gives you
Cinépolis.
That's the one
They're
in San
building a
Diego.
brand new Cinépolis 10 minutes from my house in San Mateo. We're leaving.
You're gonna have a Cinépolis here?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
shit.
it's in the Hillsdale Mall in San Mateo.
It's even but there's already a Cinemark theaters there.
No, that's downtown
Oh,
San
you're right.
Mateo.
I'm sorry. I was thinking Tanforan, not Hillsdale.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Cinépolis is awesome. They're like even more comfortable chairs than you've ever been on. And they're like you press a button and then someone crawls over to you and like gives you an iPad, then you can order and then they walk away. Well, they crawl away and then they come back with your food. It's
Call
so
me crazy.
so amazing.
I actually prefer a more purist movie watching experience. I don't really get down with food and drinks in the middle of the movie.
But
Are
don't
you
have to have it. You don't have to
anti-Alamo
have it.
Draft House?
Yes.
I hate the Alamo Draft House.
Yeah.
The Alamo Drafthouse is a terrible movie watching
fucking
experience,
sucks,
and
That
I
light.
am committed to that statement.
The fact that you don't have the option to turn off the light is so upsetting to me.
I guess that would be
So
like the one
upsetting.
easy fix for it.
It would, and that would make
sounds
it
good.
slightly better.
And not only
The food's
that,
terrible.
the layout of the theaters are not good. The screens aren't big enough. Where the seats aren't great. Like if I'm gonna watch a movie and want to have a cinematic movie experience, I will never go to Alamo.
Yeah.
It's fun for like a second or third viewing of something you've already seen.
And they do really cool like
Classic.
weekday
or
showings.
more
Yeah.
like art house films,
Yeah.
or like if it's a
Or
movie
old
that they're
movies.
bringing back.
Yeah.
the
right?
champagne cinema stuff that they do is really fun.
Yeah,
and like,
that's
all
what
that kind
I'm
of stuff.
all about with Alamo. But
truffle
like
popcorn's so good.
when
Oh,
I'm gonna go
so good.
see Star Wars Episode 9, I'm not seeing it at the Alamo. Heck
You
no.
should watch it Dolby though.
Dolby. Yes, Dolby is the best movie watching experience in San Francisco.
So true.
Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Well,
so good.
they have some really amazing theaters.
There are some issues sometimes with the audio, or we've had it out of focus, but that's like because we watch like 90% of
Yeah.
our movies in Dolby. And
It's
like,
tough.
frankly, I should have yelled when it was out of focus.
Yeah.
Because like someone has to do it, you know. And next time I notice it's out of focus, I'm gonna yell.
Yeah, say something.
Do you just yell or do you just like
No,
go
you have
get
to get
someone?
out. and go
no,
tell
you just
somebody.
yell. Focus.
Don't do that. Don't.
No, just do that. They'll
Don't do
figure
That
it
is
out.
that is my nightmare movie scenario.
Okay.
Because you know you're going to be the
Nick
one
jumping
sitting
down
next to
behind
Kevin,
you
too.
is not your nightmare scenario.
No, 'cause I was
that
way
was
to
my
the
nightmare.
side.
And then he ran.
I know.
All right.
else we
Wow,
got?
we've got a lot of trailers left. All right, Jane's Silent Bob reboot.
Snoochie boochies.
Oh man,
I don't
I'm so
have
fucking
any
excited.
attachment to
I'm
this.
so scared this is not going to be good.
Yeah, I'm
not
worried.
great, just good.
I do really love Jay and Silent
Yeah.
Bob Strike Back, and the Jay and Silent Bob movies in general. I think they're really fun.
Askew-averse?
Well,
View Askew.
View Askew, that's it.
Yeah.
The
that's
View
his
Askew
production.
universe. Yeah, production company that he made all Mallrats
Right.
and Clerks and Clerks
So
2.
I'm very hesitant about this, but I like that they're bringing back almost everybody.
Yeah, and
right?
it looks like we're gonna get closure on different stories. Like there was that like splash scene where it like named a bunch of movies. Also, it seemed like it even had people from not those movies, but that Kevin Smith has worked on, like Justin Long character in Zack and Miri Make a Porno.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, forgot about that
good
movie.
character.
I did too.
Wow.
And then like is Matt Damon back as Loki, which is interesting.
I didn't see. We saw Ben Affleck, a very quick Ben Affleck cameo in this trailer.
I'm very well. It was
Well,
Matt
no,
Damon's in
there
it
is
too, though.
there is a shot of Matt Damon. In
Oh,
it.
maybe I missed
He's
it.
like in a movie theater or something.
It was
No,
definitely-
he was holding a Bible, which is interesting.
It very well could be connected to Dogma. I think that the Ben Affleck we're getting is the one from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, the like original, where he's the writer. Oh, also Chasing Amy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
his
they're the
character
same
from Chasing
character.
Amy.
Dogma.
Yeah.
That's such
And then
a good
the-
movie.
the-
It really is.
And they'll probably do both versions of Jason Lee, like they did in the first Jay and Silent Bob, where he plays both of his characters from Mallrats and Chasing Amy.
I just
Hemsworth too.
yeah,
That
Yeah.
Mr. Yasmin's bringing up.
Yeah.
but he's like a weird Force ghost.
Yeah.
We saw.
Yeah, because they're at like Comic-Con and stuff, so there's probably going to be a lot of cameos and shit like that.
I really hope that this movie, like, all I want is Super Troopers 2 levels. Just
I'm
be
down.
funny
Yeah.
and enjoyable.
Yeah.
Like,
Let's see these
I'm
characters
trying
again.
to set it as low as possible. I'm very excited for this franchise to like see what comes from it.
Right, 'cause
I
we
love
haven't seen
Kevin
anything.
Smith so much
We haven't really seen anything from this universe specifically
in a
since
long time.
Clerks 2. Yeah. Wow.
All right, moving on. It 2.
Man, what
I can't wait for this
a
goddamn movie.
trailer.
Weird date, I feel like. Why not just wait till closer to Halloween?
What date is that? I didn't even look.
I'll look it up.
September 9th?
It sounds right.
Chapter 2.
Yeah. But I just...
Yeah,
September
September
6th.
6th. Yeah,
6th. Okay, close enough. I feel like if you come out in Halloween, it doesn't matter. I'm excited this movie's happening. I'm excited it's close. God, I can't wait.
I think they did a great job casting the older
Absolutely.
sets of actors.
I
I'm
think that
excited. I'm nervous.
Me too. I think the trailer number
looks good.
1 we got, which I think they were calling a teaser, gave us way too much of that scene. Like the one with the girl visiting her home.
Oh, yeah.
Like way
With the
too much of
grandma
that scene. Yeah.
lady.
And it's like that's a...
I've seen that
that's
trailer so many times.
As
Granted,
have
I go to
I.
a lot of movies,
Yeah.
but it's runs before
I think it's
65% of movies.
It's just it's enough. Give me tiny glimpses of stuff, and that's it. I don't want a full scene because that's a great scene. Now it's like we've seen it. 5 minutes of the damn movie we've seen. Whatever. I'm excited. This trailer looks awesome.
Yeah, I am all in on this. I remember reading it as a teen.
That's a big old book.
That's a
Yeah.
intense
That's
book.
12
I read a
100
lot of
pages.
Stephen King when in middle school.
He wrote a lot.
Yeah.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can't wait for this movie.
It's going to be great. It's
Yeah.
going to be
Inten-
terrifying and
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Good. Moving on to our next trailer.
Do you think we're going to convince Andy to see it with us again?
On to our next trailer. Yeah, I think so. I think we can peer pressure him. He's easy to peer pressure.
I don't know.
We just all have to be really committed that like he needs to do it.
Okay.
All right. The next trailer, The King's Man.
So I've never seen any of the Kingsman movies. So I had no idea what was going on in any of this. I'm
This was
more
the one
interested.
trailer I didn't watch. I thought I watched them all.
Do you watch the Kingsman movies?
Yes, I love the
This is
Kingsman
like a
movies.
prequel.
This is a prequel.
Oh, cool.
And it's really cool. Like it's narration. Someone's narrating. Like, hey, we're all noblemen now, but like we didn't get here by being good people. And it's just a cool concept of like these are all like their family were tough and smart, and like that's how they got to be where they are. And like it seems like it's set around maybe World War I. I'm into it. We got a Rasputin looking character guy that's looks like it's gonna be the main villain.
I'm more interested in the direct sequel because the vibe of the other Kingsman movies, like I'm really into. This one I wouldn't go see this otherwise, I don't think. Which
I hope
guess
that it
is
follows
different.
in that same cool action and cool like. It's like the Kingsman movies are so enjoyable, although they make some
Stylized in their
and stylized.
action. Yeah, yeah,
stylized is what I was looking for.
Yeah.
So I hope this is good. I don't know that I love the trailer. So
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was super like I didn't watch it the day it came out, but I think I watched it like yesterday or something, and I wasn't sold when they announced it as a prequel. I was like, no, I want to see more of Egerton's
the
story and whatnot. But yeah, watching this, I was like, oh, they're still bringing me back with the whole vibe and like what the Kingsman is as an organization, and it's the story like the kid who is like Voldemort's like Voldemort's the mentor of this kid, right?
Right.
Ralph Fiennes.
Ralph
you mean?
Fiennes. Yeah.
Is that what
I
it
was
is?
so confused.
No, you know what? No, I mean fucking Voldemort. That's what I mean. Voldemort is training this kid.
He's not
as,
real. Remember, the Dark Mark is not as bad as everyone says.
Yes, it is.
Is that supposed to be what's his face character from the other two Kingsman movies?
I don't know.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah,
right?
but I mean, you're talking about Colin Firth.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
The main guy.
Yeah.
I would imagine that's more Arthur, like what's his name, British guy we all like.
I don't
Hold
know.
on, I'm pulling it up right now.
Old dude, Batman's Alfred.
You're talking about
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
Yes.
Yeah, I would think that could be Michael Caine's character.
Gotcha.
back
That
then.
Yes,
makes- yeah,
because
that makes more
his
sense.
is Arthur.
Okay.
Michael Caine is
Well,
Chester
Arthur's just
King.
the title.
Right. The title passes between people. You think it's actually his character younger.
Yeah.
Yes.
Same guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that lines up too.
Yeah, the age-wise.
Yeah,
But it
yeah.
might not. These people, I can't imagine having super long lives, although Arthur clearly did because he was old.
Yeah.
All right. It looks interesting. I feel like this trailer was a little bit like, I don't know. It seemed a little bit more of a departure from the story that like I want. And it's like, we're going to get a direct sequel coming for the third one. I think it's next year or the year after. So I'm interested to see the next trailer and what it does.
This was a perfect example of a movie based on a comic book that you might not have realized is based on a comic book.
I think it's the other way around though.
No.
I think the comic
No.
book came afterwards.
No, it says the first volume, The Secret Service, in 2012.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
This Kingsman franchise began in 2012 with the comic book, The Secret Service.
Great. Great poll.
2 sequels, Kingsman: The Big Exit and Kingsman: The Red Diamond, followed in 2017 and 2018 after the first movie. So the first movie was in 2015.
And those are like directly connected to like that world, like or like they're the same Eggsby and shit. All right, moving on to our last trailer. One we want to talk about is Top
Arguably
Gun.
the most exciting.
Is it?
Yes,
Okay. 'cause
without
Do you not care about Top Gun, Kevin?
Chill out.
I need you to,
Joey,
I need you to
Joey,
match the
let me-
excitement
let
levels
me-
that clearly Andrea and I have for
let
Top Gun
me
2.
Let me get there. Okay. So I watched this trailer with you guys, and I couldn't hear it because you guys were watching it over
Gosh, I
here.
wish we could watch
and
it
I was
right now.
watching it on a screen, and I was just like,
Dun,
"Oh, this looks okay. It's okay." And then I rewatched it this morning. And, all right, it's not productive. Wow, we're going so long. God, I hate
I
it.
have an appointment at SFO in like 45 minutes.
Okay, we're almost done, I swear. Yeah, I just rewatching it, I was like, oh shit, this is getting me. Yeah, I'm excited to see where they go. I don't like the whole like, hey, it seems like drones are probably getting rid of fighter pilots. And it's like, that's really lame.
They're never going to get rid of fighter pilots because you
That's what I
always
think
have
this
to.
movie's about.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, exactly. You always have to have a human element involved. The cinematography
Looks
in this
really cool.
trailer is phenomenal. It looks beautiful. I mean, I've always been a fan of Tom Cruise's movies, and I think that
Tom Cruise,
this is gonna be
current Tom
great.
Cruise is like kind of crushing it too. So I have a feeling this is going to be good.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm
He
ready.
delivers, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how they translate his character from the kind of like young cocky pilot that he is in Top Gun to this like seasoned instructor who has been instructing for so many years, and where he's going to go now and how those decades have changed him as a character. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do with it. Ed Harris is back, which is awesome.
Do you think we'll get any like Tom Skerritt?
Oh gosh, I hope so.
He's like
I
really
haven't
old
seen
right
Top Gun in
now.
a long, long time.
yeah, and so is Ed Harris.
Yeah, that's
We're
true.
all old. Tom Cruise is old.
We get a little
Still
bit.
looks
We
great,
see
though.
some
Looks
Goose
fucking awesome.
flashbacks. So I don't know what that's gonna.
I think they were saying he has a kid or had a kid.
Okay, so is that the? Because we didn't see any Miles Teller who's supposed to be in this.
Yeah.
So maybe is that the kid? I don't know. Are we gonna get a Meg Ryan cameo?
Let's see.
Are we gonna see the other love interest girl whose name I can't remember? I'm sorry.
Didn't we see a flash of some love interest girl?
No, they didn't they say that Jennifer Connelly is the love interest in this one?
I see. Okay, I just assumed
But will
Jennifer.
we get
I couldn't remember.
a little tease of "Take My Breath Away, Girl"? Sorry, I don't remember what your name is.
Take your breath away, girl.
So you guys both super excited for this one then?
Yes, I am.
Heck
I'm
yes.
super excited. I mean, obviously,
Kelly McGillis. Sorry.
Thank you. Her name was slipping my mind too. A lot of people have said, is Val Kilmer gonna make a
We see
cameo?
him in it, don't we?
Did we? I don't think we did.
Or am
No.
I just thinking of Jane Silent Bob?
I don't know. I saw there was someone that did a sketch with Val Kilmer where he was like really overweight and like playing the same role, and it was really funny.
So because Cruise confirmed that he worked with Kilmer again after Kilmer's bout with throat cancer, which happened in 2017, and Kilmer also had a photo that said it's official, #Top Gun 2 was announced. And so, but we don't know what Kilmer's role in this film is going to be. And so there's a lot to look forward to, I think. So,
He's gonna be a 1-star admiral.
I mean, he could have been a 2-star admiral is what Ed Harris said.
Yeah.
But we don't know.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's exciting.
More volleyball.
I'm more excited to rewatch
yes.
Top Gun 1
Oh.
because it's been
Do you think-
so long.
Do you think we can convince everybody to do Top Gun in review?
No.
There's only 2 of them.
Yeah, that's
Okay, that's never stopped us before.
very true.
True.
Yeah, it's totally
we did
possible.
a Detective Pikachu where that was the only movie.
I have to go pee so bad.
Well,
Okay.
better go through the rest of what you got.
All right, well, that was it for trailers. Now moving on to out now on streaming platforms. Netflix has Queer Eye Season 4.
Yeah.
And a movie called Secret Obsession. A movie?
This is one that I'm really excited about.
Joey brought that
I think
up.
her name is Brenda Song. Correct me if I'm wrong. She's been in some like Disney stuff. If you are, I would watch 30 seconds maybe of the trailer, and if it piques your interest, then I would turn the trailer off and watch the movie.
Looks like some weird shit.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, if you get too
You
far into
watch
the
too much of the trailer, I feel like you're gonna know too much about what's going on.
Yeah.
If you're into like this mystery,
Cool,
and you
awesome.
don't know.
Movies that are coming out this
Oh my
week.
gosh, Kevin really
Lion
has to pee.
King. The Lion King is out this week. It's pretty good. If you've got a kid who's never watched Lion King, take him to watch this. He's gonna
Have
have a
you
good
seen a
time,
kid?
but
They're
also be
great.
sad. He might cry. Don't laugh at him. My
Jeez.
uncles used to do that. It was really fucked up.
But look, you're stronger now.
No, I'm not.
Watch Queer Eye. It's fantastic.
Have you watched any of the new season?
Not yet, but I've rewatched seasons 2 and 3.
Last week I asked your top. I asked for you. Well, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks.
3 weeks ago at
Yeah,
this
it's been a
point.
while.
Oh, man.
I asked for you guys to write in and asked canceled movies that you cared about that never happened. Let me know what they were.
What do we got?
Fendi says probably a very unpopular opinion, but I really wanted to see Sam Raimi's true vision for Spider-Man 4 and hate how he was forced to change the script and add many supervillains in Spider-Man 3. I've seen some videos. It seems like he had a lot of villains that he wanted to do in Spider-Man 4. They might have just been cameos, but still. You know? I'd be interested to see. And I was watching this Caravan of Chaos, maybe?
I don't know.
Trash, Caravan of Trash. Good YouTube channel. If you can figure out what it is, you can watch. And they were like recapping and like similar to what we do with the MCU in review or
Yeah.
in review series for the Spider-Man movies, and it was really it was fun. And they were talking about how like it would be crazy for them to now that like people understand multiverses and stuff
To try and go
for,
back.
Yeah, Sony to try and actually make it happen. And it's like
That seems rough.
but like also that would be really interesting, and I feel like there is a fan base there. You know, these people are like, "Oh, Spider-Man 2 is the best."
No, it's
You mean trying to connect those two first series with the current one?
No, I
just
mean
going back to that
just
first one.
doing a sequel to 4 or to 3 that is by Sam Raimi.
Oh, you don't think Marvel will let that happen though, right?
Marvel doesn't have control of it. Sony owns Spider-Man.
It's true.
I don't think Sony would do it very well.
No. All right, who else wrote in?
All right, moving on.
You're trying to go fast here, I thought.
Andrew Feisner says, I'm still disappointed that sequels to Chronicle, Power Rangers, and The Road to El Dorado never came to fruition. I love each of these movies, and not seeing more of them is a crying shame. You're right.
Didn't they say that they were gonna like reboot Power Rangers again?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was just like,
Power
do we need
Rangers.
that?
Power
I actually
Rangers.
didn't hate the last
I
one.
didn't either.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of in the good bad where I didn't hate it, but it wasn't good.
Road to El Dorado is a great movie. Ignacio Rojas says the only movie I can think of that I was least interested on and got canceled is The Inhumans. The only reason I was interested in this movie is that I loved what they did with Inhumans on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I would have liked to see what they would have done with the movie, considering that Inhumans already exist in the MCU canon. But do they?
No, they don't.
But do they? You know what I mean?
Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Not canon.
Is it canon? We don't know.
Nope.
All right, move on. Mitch
Crasson.
Yeah. Oh,
like that.
good job. I think that the Sinister Six project always seemed like a cool idea to me. I know it was Sony based and would probably fall apart, but Spider-Man had some of the best villains, and done right, it could be outstanding. And I agree, and I hope that we're building towards that in the MCU, so I'm not super upset by that loss.
I mean, but if we wanted to do just a focused Sinister Six movie, we saw that in Suicide Squad, and it was bad.
Super Dope Fresh in the chat says Nicolas Cage Superman, which I think is an interesting
Oof.
choice. Would have been interesting.
Would have been interesting. Would have been good. I don't know. I really want to know what you were going to say.
That's Spider-Man.
I liked all those Spider-Mans.
Have you rewatched them recently?
No.
Okay, don't. The memory of them is better.
Than what they actually
Yeah.
are. What's next week's bronze? Big Kev Dog?
It's time for some recommendations. What are you guys into right now that I'm not talking about? Let me know so that I could get on that boat and ride it. You know what I mean?
Ride that boat, Kevin.
You know what I'm saying?
Ride it.
You get it. Thank you so much for joining us. If you want to follow us on social media, you can follow her at Joey Noel. Because when I say Joey, it's so weird to then immediately say at Joey Noel.
Yeah, I understand.
Or her at Andrew Rene.
Listen, this is what you do. You make your name your handle so everybody knows how to find you.
Yeah.
Or at Kind of Funny Kevin.
Or you forever brand yourself to a
With
company.
an underscore.
You know?
On its own sounds great. I don't have an underscore.
I was just referring to Nick.
But again, it's the
Just
same
dumb.
problem where it's like,
Things.
you can follow Nick at Nick_Scarpina. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Go and check out a movie. I highly recommend The Farewell.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of good movies.
so good.
And The Farewell was fantastic. So go and check that out this weekend, or go check out whatever you want and let me know if you liked it.
Love it.